Welcome back to episode 48 of the Top Loaded podcast. It is closing in on card show season. The first one's just gone, and the London Card Show is up and coming in about 10 days or whatever it is. I'm not good at maths. So it's a reminder, go over to our Instagram page, and it is there. We're giving away 2 VIP tickets for the weekend of London Card Show. Make sure you're there. It's going to be a fantastic weekend. And welcoming back, Harry, to the London podcast. My head's gone. It's literally a Monday. I'm ready gone. So welcome to the Top Load podcast. Yeah, again, Harry, hope you are doing well. How are you, my friend?
Yes, good, mate. Yeah, apologies obviously for not being present in the last recording. Family emergency come up, so obviously I wasn't able to jump on. But yeah, I'm back and obviously looking forward to this episode.
Yeah, like I say, we're very happy to hear that everything is going well on the family end, and always welcome back. And going forward, it's going to be a great one. It's another bumper episode next week, a very big bumper episode. But welcome back to one of the most listened podcasts. Actually, I can put a smile on his face because it is the top on number one now for the most listened episode so far, the Top Load podcast, which was all the way back in May. It's the one and only Mr. Jacob from Tates Breaks. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, good, man. Good. Nice to hear.
I was going to say, I think every time I've met you at a show or even messages, you've always asked, so have I got the number one spot? So at the moment, you are solidly in the title race. So congratulations on that one. It's been a long 7 months and 8 months even now since the last episode. And I've got to say, everything's changed quite a bit in the breaking world in that 8 months.
Yeah, big time, man. Big time.
So my main question to you is, everyone knows you as Mr. Chronicles. How has the Chronicles been going for you?
Same old, to be honest, mate. I mean, there aren't many cases of it left, and that it's getting a bit of a struggle. But I mean, if I find them, I'll buy them. But I'm hoping this year's Chronicles is actually solid, because the new one was a bit of a letdown, really.
Yeah, I was going to say that obviously the high of 1920, and everyone's still looking back on as it is one of the best products released in general. Obviously, 2021, there's a few good cards here and there. Obviously, Pedri being one of the main ones of people looking for him. But is there one aspect of Chronicles that you'd really like to see return, or is it just in general, like the actual design of last year's weren't as nice as the previous ones?
Yeah, I think the quality control on the 21-22 was shocking. They scrapped the optic rated rookies. That wasn't really good. Sorry, carry on.
I was going to say, in terms of obviously thinking about it, even the rookie tickets themselves are. I personally really liked 1920 how it was. You had the paper-based ones, and then obviously you had the cracked ice. Obviously, then you did have other variations, but it's just something with them. It's just iconic now, and you see the prices are reflecting that. Whereas, even though they are doing quite well, I see a Gabriel Martinelli, I think first off the line to 18 go for about 300, which is good, but it's just for a more of a premium it's like in between the real premium and the mid.
I wouldn't even say premium anymore.
No, not anymore. You're looking. It's a shame because, like you say, Chronicles is a great one because you have there's so many different variants of it as well. Obviously, you've hobby first off the line. You even go down to your cellos. You can go for T-malls, H2s, and everything like that. It's just like we say, there's a lot out there of Chronicles. So hopefully 22-23 will be better. Hopefully there's I know for certain there's probably going to be a William Saliba rookie ticket because Panini will milk William Saliba for Arsenal this season, and they love milking Arsenal as it is. And by the way, people, I've heard that in the new Don Russ Elite League what's coming out, Gabriel, Arsenal centre-half, has got autos in there. So yes, I'm losing all my money. But otherwise, apart from that, what else have you anything else that been taking your fancy of breaking? Because I know it's been a bit of a hiatus in between the World Cup release, which kind of slowed everything down a bit.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I've just been trying to stick with the 2020, 2021 products. Just 21-22 for me, just apart from Merlin Chrome, that was a nice one. What else did you have? Obsidian was nice.
Yeah, Obsidian white lasted. Obsidian was nice.
But apart from that, that's total letdown.
So they say I know me and Harry have spoken about this a lot about it was that 2021 is going to be a very hard year to even come close to with the level of players that were in it. Obviously, some of the chases, obviously, like you said, for you, you had the Pedri chasing Chronicles, which was always great to watch you try and get every single Pedri known to man, but also having the other players in there for people to chase. For me, great having Gabriel. But then when you looked over at the tops production you had, your Jude Bellingham, Jamal Musiala, Pedri, there's so many good rookies. Do you think that's kind of a reason of it was such a high of the rookie class that now it's on a bit of a come down of actually, you know what? Most of the best players in Europe have already had their first cards, and now it's all like second and third year stuff.
I think it plays a part, but I think the Tops and Panini just kind of fucked it themselves a bit. Just the print runs going up to like 500 or whatever for some of the like just basic inserts in like Prism and stuff like that. They just totally nerfed it as well with the Chronicles. Like Chronicles 2021, normally you get pretty much guaranteed a case hit of like a Rooney or Maradona, Beckham, or like Ronaldo in a case. Now I think I entered like a 5 case break, and like you're not even guaranteed a case hit. It's a lot more redemptions as well. Just a lot more shit. I mean, the checklist on paper was nice on the 21-22 Chronicles. You can get some bangers like Kaká, Nedved. I know Maradona's Napoli auto, Messi had an auto, Ronaldo's got like 3, but it's just they don't actually barely ever get hit.
Yeah, I was going to say, like one of the 2 big ones I remember when it first came out that I mentioned on here was the Dennis Bergkamp National Treasures for Arsenal and the Thierry Henry one. I think I see one get pulled in the first week, and I actually can't remember even the last time I see one pop up. And it shows you how diluted it is that you've got these big hits, but you could, like you say, you was in a 5 caser, you could probably go 20 to 30 cases without seeing one of these big cards hit. And it's a shame because I remember seeing some of the 1920 stuff and there was cracked ice here and there. And then obviously the 2021, obviously a lot of people chasing like Victor Osimhen as well. I see a load of really nice cards of his, and it's just like, it's a shame. Hopefully they go back to the ways it was. But I think Harry's going to talk to you now about the big change in the breaking world, which has happened in the last 12 months. And obviously that is your progress onto Vault. So I can let Harry take away from this part.
Yeah, I think obviously we've seen a massive difference in terms of moving over from Instagram Lives, moving on to Voct, obviously, and obviously now with Whatnot introduced into the UK as well. You know, Tate, from your perspective, you know, how have you found the transition from, you know, going live on Instagram, now moving over to Voct for all the break-in side of things?
I mean, it's a lot easier because Instagram, you'd be chasing people for payments for days. People try one over on you, and it all just was a bit long. And on Instagram, if you didn't have a following already, like you weren't going to fill your break kind of thing. Whereas with these new platforms that have come to the UK, it's more so you can build yourself on there. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think we've seen. Go on.
Sorry. Like you see people with like 200 followers on Instagram, but then on say Vogt, they got like 700. So they built their platform. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No. Yeah, I think it's easier for, you know, new breakers. You know, obviously we had LGL breaks, obviously Lewis on last week or the week before that even now. Sorry, I think it's easier for newer breakers to almost submerge themselves into the break-in scene now these platforms are available, because you haven't necessarily got to have such a large following on Instagram or on Twitter or any social media to fill out a break anymore. Because if there's live people, you know, that are going through these platforms that breaking's happening on, all you got to do is have, you know, a show lined up and people are already on there. You can see what case they're breaking, see what product they're breaking, and, you know, set it in your calendar ready for when they go live. So I think in terms of, you know, making the breaking scene a lot more adverse and a lot more sort of broader, these platforms are making it easier for people to break product without having to worry about having a massive following on social media like you previously mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how much it's changed in under a year. It really is.
Would you say that's probably the biggest, you know, maybe difference you've seen in the UK from when you were last on here in May to where we are now? These platforms have now surfaced.
Yeah, definitely. Instagram breaks are pretty much non-existent now. It's not really a thing.
Yeah, I think you probably see more so like raffles, don't you, going live on Instagram and stuff like that than you probably would do breaks. But I think it's made a massive impact on the breaking scene. And like you said, from a breaker's perspective, it's a lot easier for you to manage the breaks rather than having to chase people up every day or people that don't pay. And I think it's made that whole process a lot smoother, to save you guys the extra hassle, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as well, getting their address. Like I remember on Instagram, other people be like, "Where's my stuff?" I'm like, "Bro, look up. I literally asked you your address like 2 weeks ago and you didn't reply."
Yeah, it's essentially having, like I don't want to compare it to eBay, but you basically just like a platform like that where you're covered for everything, all the details already on there, and people can just go on there and just bid for stuff and buy spots. So it definitely has made the whole transition a lot easier for breaking. And I think it's made it a lot better, I think, for the community in terms of having these platforms available.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as well, the people at Borg, they're good people, proper up close, personal. Like, and I think they have a genuine care. Like they want to succeed especially in the sports department.
Yeah, I think we've seen a bigger influx in the sports cards onto these social media platforms, where obviously previously maybe it was more TCG, more Pokemon. But I think since it's all been announced properly, we've seen a bigger influx in sports cards and sports breaks on these platforms, which is good for the community. Ron, I don't know if you've got anything to add on Fox and that sort of side of things.
Yeah, like
I mean,
think,
yeah. Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking to me.
No, I was going to say, I think it's a lot better, just for the protection of the breaker now, because rather than having people chasing payments before the break can even go live, and like you say, chasing, it's just, there's a bit more peace of mind, I'd say, for a breaker, or even if you're doing single sales or anything, that it will show you if the payment's gone through. And if it hasn't gone through, you either cancel it, rerun it, or you can keep it for yourself, kind of thing. I just think that aspect is really good as well. That it's more protection for the actual seller of the break, and that's what it weren't on Instagram. Was, when you think about it, it's pretty mad how someone would just list up a story on Instagram, and then that would be the sell. But then if someone just listed up a card, you'd have questions. But for a break, there weren't many questions. So don't get me wrong, there's still some good people breaking on Instagram, but it's just nice to have a secure platform now that people can use and have that peace of mind of everything that goes along with. Someone else said there's customer service with any issues to be resolved or payment issues. So I think that aspect is really good as well.
Yeah, people still try it though.
Yeah, yeah. Fair,
as
fair
in,
play.
I mean they try it as in that on like these apps, they'll still try to say like, "Oh, I didn't receive this" or whatever. But that's why you got it, because what you get is people will complain about the postage all the time. So I'll set my postage right to $1.99. No, sorry, $3.99.
Yeah.
And I'll send it tracked 24, but that's how much it costs. So I'm not making anything on the postage, but I'll get messages like, "Oh, why are you just trying to make money on the postage?" And I'm like, "Bro, I'm not. It's so you can get your stuff quicker, so it doesn't get lost." And as well, just like I said, it stops people trying to pull one over on you. As in, like I think I had someone today actually get a message. Oh, he said he hasn't received it. All you got to do, check the tracking. They take pictures of it now. You're all good. But
do you still think that's sort of a big, not necessarily a big issue, but a big concern on some of these platforms still? People will still try and do these, where you're sending it tracked 24-hour, you're not necessarily making any money on the postage side of things, but people are still trying to pulling up over you and pull your leg over it.
no, I wouldn't say it's a big. I think no matter what industry you're in, or you're selling on eBay, etc., people were going to try their luck no matter what. It's not frequent, but you get some crazy ones. Like I've had emails like, "Oh, my sister took my phone and bought Barcelona." Like, come on, bro.
Yeah, we've seen some good excuses on some of those, haven't we?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it's one of them as well. There's people who regret right there straight away, but at the end of the day, it's not like one button. You swipe across on whatnot or Vogt. It's not just like, oh, I accidentally misclicked. You swipe across, and if you don't want to accidentally do it, you just put it so you can't do the bidding option. So that's a good aspect as well, I suppose. And obviously, looking at your recent break, and there has been some massive hits for you in the last, like, not 8 months since you've been on. It's very hard to choose between all the massive autos or short prints that you've got. Have you got any personal favorites that you have pulled, which you look back on and think, wow, what a card that I pulled there?
Ooh. Was the last time I was on, was Immaculate out?
Oh, it probably, no, I think it was just, it would have been, I think Immaculate come out about June time, didn't it? I can't even remember that far, long time ago, isn't it now?
I'm
But
not sure if it was
even
uh,
in general, just your favourite pulls.
I mean, I hit the Immaculate Ronaldo boot pack. So
Yeah.
that was a decent one. Well, so if I hit it's been a few, like Osman to 23. I love the Chronicles rated rookies, especially Cracked Ice. That's a sick one. To hit like a marathon.
Don't forget your back-to-back Jovino 101s as well. Like, we can't forget about that. That was a big moment, massive moment when, but just for the context, I think it was like the day before you was doing an actual break, and you got the National Treasure Patches 101.
Yeah.
And then the next day you opened a personal, weren't it, and got the Select 101 or Prison 101 of him.
I feel like it's one of them where, like, I wouldn't sell it for like 50 quid, so I'm just going to grade it and keep it.
Bit of a legend of the FIFA world as well, so that was
I mean, he was a quick player on FIFA, though. He was decent from what I remember back in the day. You got the Barbo up top, Divino. I used to like using the silver Brazilian back in the day. Do you play like FIFA 12 and that? Like,
yeah. We got Dumbia and Kelvin.
El Sharari was the centre forward, 5-star skills.
Bring back Dead
What a throwback
as well. Oh, what a good. So I haven't played FIFA this, but that's actually an interesting. I was listening to quite an interesting point someone had. I actually think it was Louis, one of my mates said it, that all it takes really, especially now, is FIFA. Especially now the younger players of FIFA, they start getting in cards. As soon as someone gets good on FIFA, they're going to be buying their cards. Especially like if you look at the icons, legends, or however they do it now, like the players, they might not even know the players, but they see these players being used on FIFA, then they might buy their cards. It's like, it's interesting as well how there's a correspondence between some people have no idea some of these legends are, but because they was in FIFA when they played it, then they know who they are. So is there a common theme there? That's just a completely random tangent. But do you think, like, moving into like this next year's release, which are coming up, obviously Don Russ being pushed back, which no doubt means Prison's going to be pushed back, and then Chronicles be pushed back. Is there any certain products you're looking forward to? Obviously, Chronicles is the main one, as it always is. But is there anything else that you're gonna, like, you always look out for? Because obviously Merlin Chrome is always a top product, and especially I know you was in your game store about 2 weeks prior to it launching, and they were sitting on the shelf, and you still couldn't get them, which was quite funny. I think you went to about 4 different stores. That was quite good to follow on your Instagram.
Oh yeah, I mean, I saw them all there. There's like 10 of them, and like I tried playing it down. Oh yeah, just get that, mate. They're just like, oh, it's not scanning for some reason. I was like, oh right. I was like, maybe just scan something else. They're like, oh no, we have to actually. I was like, right, cool. I know what's going to happen now. Oh yeah, we can't actually sell you this for another 3 weeks. I was like, right.
That's, I was just saying, I remember that's another thing as well. Of it was good that it was launched in the UK. Obviously, it weren't that high quantity. My one, you could only buy one if you wanted to, which was not the best in the world. But Merlin Chrome is a great product, very good product, and now it's being launched in the UK. Do you think we'll see more products, especially more your retails, obviously your Blasters, Megabox? Do you think we'll start seeing more of them released within the UK, and especially like Game, or obviously in the ideal world that it'd be like a supermarket that takes them up as well, like your Targets or Walmarts in America?
I mean, you'd like to think from a financial point from the companies, you'd like to think so, because people were literally queuing outside the games and they sold out within like an hour or something. So you'd like to think so, but who knows with these companies, man? I think gold's meant to be, I mean, they said very soon, like on Thursday, and normally that means they drop it the next day and they didn't. So that could be coming today.
Yeah, another release where you got to be in straight away. I think, like I say, to be fair, some of the top reasons to say, obviously, you're not a personal fan of Deco. Some of the stuff's like nice. You got the Jude Bellingham, which I quite like the Jude Bellingham. So it's something a bit different. And gold, obviously, What I like about gold as well, obviously it was Tyson Beck who done it before, and now I can't remember the new guy who's doing it, but it's a different artist every year. Obviously, we see that similar in the Project 22, that there's 5 different artists a week. Obviously, each one has like 5 cards, but with Tops, they do experiment as well. Like Panini have their tried and tested method that you probably know what's going to come because you see it in NFL or NBA. Whereas Tops is quite a lot of unique stuff now. And do you think that is quite a good selling point for Tops in a way that there is different stuff rather than just pretty much copy and paste, but just slightly newer and fresher?
Yeah, definitely. And I think Tops is more accessible to the UK as well compared to Panini. But I think, yeah, the fact they're giving people chances, just like new artists and that, it is good. And some of the designs are actually really nice. I personally don't buy a lot of them cards. I mean, I'm so picky with cards, what I buy, to be honest. To be honest, I do probably prefer Panini in terms of design, but
Yeah.
I do like Tops.
Yeah, as I say, I think Tops, I think some of the products obviously always are bound to do well. But on average, if someone said to you, look, here's 3 cards, and they put out a Tops Chrome Champions League rookie, a Prism rookie, and a Chronicles rookie, so 95% of people are going to go with the Prism rookie because that is seen as the flagship in terms of that is one of the cards to go for. Obviously, then you have like your NT rookies, you have impeccable rookies, but Prism is still the go-to set, I think, for if someone's chasing a big card. And look at the prices reflect it. Even at the World Cup, look at Julian Alvarez short numbered stuff was going for crazy money, whereas no doubt he'd probably be in say Topps Chrome this year. He's probably rookie would be a fraction of the price because it's not Prism.
Yeah, definitely. I think I like Prism, especially the World Cup. That was one because I'm not really a fan of the EPL product, so I've always kind of avoided the Panini Prism EPL. But the World Cup one was different gravy, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think we're seeing it now as well that prices are holding very well on them. Whereas some, you look at, I'd say one of the worst releases for Panini last year, which was, as you say, the EPL Prism. Some of the prices of that are in the absolute floor at the moment. I've seen to tens of, obviously, the top 6 to 7 teams are always a bit more expensive. But I've seen like some West Ham really nice like golds go for like 11 quid, which is ridiculous for a gold Prism. But
Yeah,
it's like you say, the World Cup, it's every 4 years. It has that bit more of a sentiment attached to it from not just people watching it, but just people collecting it in general. So Prism is a top set, and I've got to move on to this issue of Pedri PC is going very well. We've seen some unbelievable cards, and I think the first one I've got to start with is a recent pickup view. It's that Pedri to 5 rated rookie. Just what a card that is.
yeah. I mean, yeah, I can't believe I actually bought that. It's just out my mind, but it was one I just needed it. I saw it. I thought I'm not going to get a chance to get it at this price again. So,
What made you choose Pedri, Tates?
I packed him. I packed the cracked ice to 23 of that optic rated rookie, and I was in Barcelona at the time, so I packed it right before. No, I was in Barcelona and I went to watch him play, and then he's a good prospect. I was looking for someone to like potentially like invest in, and then I got back and I opened a personal box of Chronicles and I hit the to 23 optic. So thought fuck it, I'll collect this guy. Same with Serginho Dest. I just kept packing him. So I just thought, you know what, this guy's following me about. I'll just collect his cards.
So I think you've gone for the rainbow in Chronicles, hadn't you? I think you got it all with PSA, if I'm correct.
What's that?
You went for those at the Pedri Rainbow. Was it?
I still got a few to go. Some of them are so hard to come by. Like the 16s, you can only get in the cello boxes. I've only ever seen one. The gold to 10s are a myth. I've seen about 2. I mean, I've got the to 5 now. The 101 I think still hasn't been hit. I know the circles one from H2 has, but the true 101 I think is still out there. What else you got? You got the to 19. I do need that one. I've been like looking at that one, but since I got the green and the 10, I kind of like don't want to buy 9s. I don't know.
I mean, have you even considered going for the circles 1 of 1?
No.
No,
I'm not playing that. It's just as well. It's not. I feel like it's not really a part of my rainbow because it's an H2 exclusive one. It's not the true one. and I think it went for like 13 grand or something. So I'm not paying that.
I think you can draw the line somewhere, can't you?
Yeah, definitely. I've been more collecting looking for Bruno Guimaraes from the
Yeah.
World Cup set. I bought his to 5 the other day. What else? I've got 2 of the choice zebra ones.
So I think they're really
Oh.
nice inserts, like the zebra, the tiger. I think they're quite.
Yeah.
I don't sort of think they're overly, flooded, but I think they are really nice inserts from the Prism set.
Yeah, they're awesome. I mean, as well, I think they hold the value as well. I've got the Pedri one, Zebra. I bought that at PSA at the minute. So
Nice.
intrigued to see what that will get, but it's just the quality check with some of the Prism as well is a bit questionable.
Yeah, it's a lot of it off center, isn't it?
Yeah, well, a lot of the inserts, like the national landmarks and stuff, is just some of them look absolutely battered, especially on the back.
Yeah, I've got a national landmarks party coming in the post as of today, so hopefully when that gets delivered, the quality control isn't as bad as we're making it out to be.
I mean, if it looked good in pictures, it looks good. It's only some of them, I guess. Like it's like the whitening. Like, I don't know if you can fix that. I bought one of that Kurt's card care things. Have you seen them?
Yeah, I've been looking at them. For people who don't know, and it's actually quite big in America now. Obviously, it hasn't really transferred over yet, but it's literally trying to get them little scratches and marks off the cards that will take it from a 7 or an 8 up until a 9 and 10. Which, in theory, if it is as good as it looks, it's a game changer because, like you say, if you find a card with a few minor scratches on it, you're going to get it for a heavily cut price. So it should be. I'm quite intrigued to see that. I'll probably have to get the kit myself, but this is another question for. I've always meaning to ask you this one. Say, for example, you hit a completely different player than Pedri. Like I'm talking. Say if you hit that Trevino 1 of 1 in that original box, for example, would you have gone down the line of like a more experience, like more of a veteran, so to speak? That's more of American terminology, like an older pro, or was it really going to be like the first big hit you got? Or was it just a matter of fact, it's just a perfect thing? Like you say, you was in Barcelona, you see them play, then you got home back to 20. It was just perfect recipe. Or was you kind of looking at him anyway? Like, did you have an inkling of like, was there someone else on your radar that you was thinking of?
Yeah, I mean, Jude Bellingham was one definitely thinking of, but I think I hit the Pedri and it was just that. But if I say like a veteran player, it depends who it was. Like if it was someone like I tried to get a lot of Kaká's cards, but they're just so expensive. I've got one auto. I've got a like 2010 like Adrenaline World Cup in like a PSA 10 or something.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just in. I'm not a fan of that kind of insert in the decos as well. So that one's not really on my radar. But yeah,
what is it about deco you don't like, Tates?
The glossiness.
Just out of curiosity.
I think just how glossy it is, all shiny. Like I don't know. I do think last year's deco I preferred the design. I wouldn't say I don't like it. It's just I just prefer. So like, if there was a Kaká auto in deco, or I don't know, say Merlin Chrome. Let's say they done like a throwback one. I'd want the Merlin all day, but I guess it is an on-demand set.
Yeah.
So you gotta. The Jude Bellingham set was nice.
Yeah, that seems really popular. I've seen a lot of good hits from that. See, with Jude's auto being on card as well.
Yeah, price is just stupid for them now, though.
And the golden like ticket as well.
Yeah, I've seen that. I think Crit pulled it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it? You actually get to go meet him and shit.
Yeah, actually meet him in person.
It's fucking jokes.
But that again is another great thing. I like that from Tops. It's something a bit different. Like it's a chase.
Is it in Germany?
Yeah.
Is it you have to go to Germany?
I don't know. They've just said that you meet him. Knowing Tops, it'd probably be in Birmingham, but if it's in Dortmund at Signal, literally meet him at St Andrews rather than flying out to Dortmund and having a nice weekend in Germany would be a bit different.
Oh mate, yeah. I mean, it'd be sick to meet him, to be fair, but I mean, you could just like find out the location technically, couldn't you, and just wait outside for him?
Yeah, good.
Even if you didn't hit one.
Yeah, that's a good point, especially if you was in a break and then he got raffled off, and then you might as well just wait for it to say, "Hey mate, whereabouts is it? Ah, I'll be your +1." Just hide in someone's suitcase and just try and get a load of stuff signed. But
I think that is one reason for the price rocketing on them.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's one of them that the big hits can go. It's like I would be really intrigued to see that in the future of more players. But who knows who they're going to sign up next? Like obviously they've done the Jose Mourinho set as well, so they have got that formula there for players. In the past, they've done the more of the not as high end. They've done the cheaper ones, like the 30 quid ones. There was a Firmino set, Weston McKennie set, Mason Mount set. But
They
having
were
the more, I was going to say, having the premium player ones is just so much better. Even the Mourinho one I thought was quite nice as well. It's just,
yeah, that
especially
was nice.
these autos in it were really nice. Just stuff
Barely
like that.
anyone in the UK got one though. I remember they all, because I normally always get them. Because there seems to be this myth on Instagram that breakers get them all like secretly somehow. There's a massive cult. I literally get them the same as everyone else. I'm just quick on the computer.
Card cult. Literally
Trigger
just
finger.
sitting it. No, just in Tops's basement when they launch, and you just got to run up and go and grab them for yourself. That's what it is. But
Yeah,
I
I
think,
mean,
yeah.
sorry, what were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say, in terms of like them actual sets, I think they do break well as well, just by looking at the numbers that they've been doing on VOG and whatnot.
Yeah, people are interested in them. Deco's still people still big interest there. The one I'm excited for is Simplicidad. Do you know that
Yeah.
one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
very nice set.
Exclusively on Spain because it's a cheap set, so a lot of people can still get involved, and it's like 1 in 3 for an auto, and the auto checklist was absolutely solid.
And
Let me see what it
I'd say
actually
the
was.
image. I was going to say the imagery as well that they use on it is very like a very simple, like a nice picture. Whereas some of them just normally action shots. You've got celebration ones. You've got like landscape picture. I remember there was a really nice. I can't remember. I think it was Jonathan David had a really nice one of him knee sliding, celebrating on the side. It was just a really nice card design. And like I say, yeah, again, we're going back to the thing of Tops doing something a bit different and having their own Spanish set's quite cool. Like I wouldn't even mind them doing that for Germany as well and have an English. Obviously, quite a lot of the sets come out of it, but our own one as well would be really nice. But I think
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
it's like I say,
But
the only thing with Tops is then you have to wait a few months most of the time to receive it. Is the only downside.
yeah, they long it out. But like for like a £35 box, Simplicidad, the autos: David Villa, Nkunku, Iniesta, Fati, Haaland, Enzo Fernandez, Kane, Son, Bellingham, Kaká, Benzema, De Bruyne, Messi, Figo, Neymar, Pedri, Rooney. Like it's Xavi. It's a fucking crazy. Rafael Lau. It's a fucking mad checklist.
Yeah,
That's stacked.
they've done very well, very very well on that checklist, and I think that's the thing is with Top say, oh, getting it right in terms of getting the right players to sign, and whereas you see Panini, you get quite a lot of the usual suspects that no one really wants to hit, and then they pop up all the time. I think one of my favorite examples is that Yankto. I've seen about 1,000 of him pulled in Chronicles. Every box has got a Yankto in it, or it's just the same
McBurney
people.
Redemption. That's
Yeah.
a
Yeah, that's another cult hero of the breaking world. But
Chris Wood.
Yeah, Chris Wood. I try to think now of all the different ones I've seen hit quite a lot. Especially then you go into the patches and they're always similar patches, ain't they? Always the same. And it's a shame, but obviously if you're doing sheer print run of the way they are, you're not going to get they're not going to put 700, 800 autos in of Messi. They're going to put in
Yeah, no, it's not.
it's just learning the demand, but
It just decreased the value of them as well.
Yeah, 100%. That's the thing. And then because of the high print run, it makes the big hits worth that bit extra because it's how, like you say, the Pedris, how hard they are to hit. To actually get a big player 23 or less is ridiculous. The odds, I'd love someone to run the maths and actually work out the odds on it because God knows it's probably like 1 in, I don't know, 75 cases or something ridiculous like that to even hit a like well good card. And then obviously you get the monster cases where you get 3 just massive cards in it and it's just not split out. But moving on to one of my last one, obviously card shows are growing a lot over the last 8 months. How do you see, like, obviously now with shows are getting over 1,000 people, obviously we'll be at the card show. Me and Harry will be there both days. I'll be there Sunday. What difference are you seeing in the card shows as well? That I remember like a year and a half ago, beginning of last year, it was obviously very much a selling market in terms of it was a lot of just raw stuff. Have you seen any big changes in the singles one? Because obviously I know you do that on Volta as well.
It's definitely a buyer's market at the minute. Like, now's the time to buy if you're gonna buy. Like, that's why I bought that Pedri. Like, they're cheap at the minute. I wouldn't be selling cards in my personal collection at the moment because they're just I don't know for whatever reason it's just so cheap at the moment.
Yeah, I think you've seen there's been some bargains. I've seen quite a few bargains recently in terms of just like everything from Messi all the way down to, for me, I've seen some Xhakas that are still. And do you think this is going to have a big impact, like on this, obviously the next London Card Show coming up, that it is a buyer's market? Do you think it's going to be the prices are going to reflect that at the show, or do you think they're still going to be at the higher, like the same prices 8 months, 6 months ago, say, but people need to lower their prices? I think that's a big stumbling block that we found at the last London Card Show, that people are asking prices from a year and a half ago, whereas they're very much different now.
Yeah. Well, either way, some kid's gonna come up to you with a comp from eBay and say, "Oh, you're gonna have to either like change your prices or just not sell it because that's all everyone. It's all just comps nowadays."
Yeah, I was going to say.
Do you agree with comps? Or
Yeah,
is it?
no.
Are you? It's a very opinionated topic, isn't it? I think comps in terms of whether you should listen to them, whether it should be not necessarily like a part of it or a ballpark figure. But I guess where do you sort of stand in terms of comps?
I mean, yeah, I think it's logical. If you see something go for 60 quid on eBay like more than once, you're not going to want to pay 120 for it, are you? Because it's just clearly not worth that if it's done it more than once, like sold for like say £60, £70, like £55, it's clearly not worth the 120 they're asking because there's been a few that have sold. I think if it's like say like a card to 5 or something, then that's kind of a different story because there's not many of them. There's not going to be loads of comps, and it's just
I guess it depends
different.
on the print run, really, doesn't it, in terms of how relatable the comp will be.
Like, I'm not going to pay, say, if there's like it's a 49, that's like I said, few times as sold. There's like a rough price range it's going for. I'm not going to pay like double if they're asking that. It's just, to be honest, that's why when I go to the card shows, I don't really buy many singles just because I just know I can get it cheaper online. But it's not always the case because at card shows you can get cards cheaper. I'm not saying every single seller is that, but as well, if you're like, I'm particular with my cards. So I'd only buy what I PC as well, and it's just rare that I mean you don't often see the Pedri Chronicles or whatever at the shows anyway. But you can. There are some. I think at the last show I managed to get a card under comp. So people do cater. They do price it well, but yeah, if someone's doing like double or whatever, it's just no one's gonna pay that. I can understand wax because it's different because you've got to import that over. And I guess it's the same with the cards, to be honest. Then, I mean, if say a card was like the equivalent to like £20 in the US, I'll offer them like 35 because you have to take into account like you got to ship it over there, ship it over here, etc. Obviously, customs. Although I know some people don't pay it, but it's still a factor. That's why if someone comes like to me with a US comp of like $20 and they're like, "All right, it's $20 here. I'll give you 14 quid." I'm like, no, because and personally, if I'm buying something like I said, I'll offer more than the US comp.
Yeah,
but if it's a UK comp, I think it's good to base it off.
And my last question, in terms of obviously just talk about comps, do you think obviously it's massive in America, either just full out trading cards for cards or cards plus cash? Do you think that's something that the UK scene is going to start doing a lot more and getting used to? Because like at the end of the day, it's a good commodity to deal in as well, cards, not just always cash for card and then card for cash, but actually be like, oh, I've got this card, we're doing part exchange or full exchange.
Oh, so you mean like part trade, part
Yeah.
cash? Yeah. I mean, I've seen quite a lot of people do it. I just think again, people will be like, the trade won't really matter because people will be like, last comps on this card is £500, so this is basically £500.
Mm.
So it's just like kind of pointless. It's still just doing it in cash. But I know some people like with vintage cards and stuff, they don't really care. They just want to trade them. So I think it is good. But when it comes down to the business end, a lot of people just, it's all about the money, isn't it, really?
Oh, definitely. And last but not least, obviously, it's been 8 months since the last time I spoke to you. So hopefully, if we get you back on in a similar time frame, what is next for Tate's Break? What are your plans for the next few months coming up that you're going to try and, if not break / targets you want to hit in terms of followers or anything like that?
I honestly couldn't tell you. I've no clue. I mean, there are some big plans. I did launch up the suppliers thing. It's gone a bit quiet, but it's like there's stuff going on behind the scenes. We're gonna come back onto that. Um, I mean, if I got the time, I'd like to do like a Nottingham show, but again, it's not looking feasible just because I just don't have the time, to be honest with you. It would be nice to have a show up here though. So if someone did, I'd get behind it. Or like I said, if I do find the time, I would like to do one, but it's what it is. I guess we'll just have to see.
Yeah, like we say, we always love you coming on, always welcome you back for you. And like we say, especially when Emeralda does start to relaunch again, like with big plans, we'd love to get you back on to see what the big plan is for that and also see how it is going to take place. So thank you ever so much for joining us yet again. And you're always more than welcome to come on the Top Loaded podcast and talk cards, talk breaks, and talk equipment as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
No worries. And thank you very much for joining us. And we're going to briefly just talk about our purchases, but we're going to take a quick break right now and we'll be back with you in a second. And we're back just to conclude this episode. Again, thanks very much for Tates for joining us. It was always great to have him on and we look forward to having him on in the future. But we couldn't let people get away with, it's been a 2-week period. So surely there's something that the boys have picked up in these 2 weeks. And I've picked up 2 things with potential of a third. But I know Harry's picked up some few things. So I think he knew that he had to come back with the episode with something picked up. Otherwise, I might just boot him off in general. So come on, what have you bought? Let's see if it's going to be interesting and requires potential sending off for grading.
Yeah, I know I left everyone on a cliffhanger, obviously after the last episode, with the Henri Champions of Europe sticker, PSA 9. I did in fact pick it up in the end. So I picked up that. I got a Martinelli rookie sticker, PSA 9 from 2019, Premier League stickers. I've also picked up a Thomas Partey National Landmarks, and I was banging on about National Landmarks a lot. So I don't usually collect Arsenal outside of our Arsenal kits, but I was like, I love National Landmarks that much. I must have to pick it. I think I picked it up for like 35 quid in the end. So I was like, can't really argue with that. And last but not least, I obviously put a story up asking to see if anyone had the Emil Smith Rowe Mosaic Auto. A very kind man, CC Breaks. Popped up within about half an hour, got a deal done, and that has been delivered now as well. Which I'm very tempted to either send to PSA or to SGC. So I think there could be another submission coming up in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, they are the 4 things that I have, 3.5 technically, if you consider that Henri as the half a deal, that I've picked up since the last episode.
Very, very nice.
Can't really argue with that. It's not bad pickups.
No, you can't argue about that at all. You got to keep this form up now. So going into London
That's
Car Show,
it,
you
yeah.
better be coming back with some good stuff. But
yeah,
we've got to hold the press because I've ticked off a New Year's resolution. It's finally happened. So my number 1 was pick up a Dennis Bergkamp Auto. And very, very lucky enough, I entered 1, and I mean 1 Top Deco break with our good friend Aaron Invest in Soccer. And yes, I hit the Dennis Bergkamp to 49 out of Top Deco. So that has been ticked off. It's in the PC, it's in the storage kit. I would get it actually, but it's tucked away safely and securely. That one, that's not going anywhere for the moment. And then another couple of little bits. I actually entered a break. I actually got quite lucky in breaks. I entered obviously a person on 2 episodes ago, which was LGL Breaks. Got into one of his breaks of a team Chronicles. It was a random team. I think I had about 4 spots in it. And lucky enough, one of the teams I got was AC Milan. And in 1920, the big chase for AC Milan was Rafael Leao, and I managed to pick up one of his Rafael Leao rookie tickets, which is obviously the red foil because it's Timor. Very happy with that. And then I looked at the prices and I was even happier with that. So I think that goes for about 75, 80 quid, which I'm very happy about, which might be going to me at London Card Show as a trade if anyone's interested in that, or maybe to sell it. But then I did pick up 2 other items, and nice little cheap ones. I picked up a yellow Topps Japan PSA 10 Sergio Ramos. Got for $20 out in America, which can go wrong for PSA 10 for $20. And then a deal that I concluded this morning, I got a Sergio Ramos orange to 25 Topps Japan Chrome for 10 quid. So, it's a very successful little buying period for us, building up to. I know we're now rationing ourselves because it's a London Card Show in now of this going live about about 10 days, 11 days.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, I think obviously I will be picking up my SGC submission at London as well. There's a little bit of a malfunction, unfortunately. There was both my Wenger stickers were unfortunately slabbed the wrong way around, and by that I mean the Merlin Premier League was slabbed up in the Football France, and then the Football France and Monaco was slabbed up in the Premier League label. So there may be a delay in actually I know what the grades are.
Do you now?
Hang on, where's?
Oh, we can still hear you.
Wow. I don't know where
we
the
do
screen's
know
gone.
what the grades.
But yeah, anyway, we don't know what the grades are. But unfortunately, yeah, he's have to be resent off back to SGC to have them re-slabbed up. So yeah, it's one of those things. You can't do anything about it. It is what it is. But yeah.
So we look forward to seeing them back. Hopefully, I'll be taking a submission of my Wenger stickers back from SGC at London Card Show as well, which will be on a video very close after that. But as a reminder, at the end of the episode, just remember to head over to the Instagram. You've got about, as of this going live, you've got a few hours to enter the giveaway. It shuts tomorrow night at midnight as it ticks over to the 1st of Feb. That is for 2 VIP tickets for the London Card Show. Make sure you enter that. The winner will be drawn Wednesday, so it'll be tomorrow if you listen to this on day of release. And it'll be over on our Instagram page, the winner of the 2 tickets. And we'll just say good luck to everyone who's entering that. We look forward to seeing you there. But yeah, again, it's been a lovely, great episode. And next week, obviously, in our honorary tradition now, it seems, the week of the London Card Show is a London Card Show special. So episode 49 is going to be a bumper episode where we're very happy that me and Harry are being joined by Harry, who's obviously the organiser for the London Card Show, and also being joined by a good friend of ours and also a vendor of the show. So it's going to be a very interesting episode just to preview it all. And then obviously we'll have hopefully our review like normal after it as well. But like we say, thank you ever so much for joining us again. We look forward to next week's episode. And then obviously by the time that's out, it's really London Card Show season. So we can't wait for that as well. But most importantly, I hope everyone out there is staying safe. I hope everyone's enjoying the hobby. But most importantly, happy hobbying and good night.